All right, we are going to be continuing our work with our surface area notes. And what I would like you guys to do is go ahead and scroll down to the bottom of these notes. And I actually want you to go ahead and circle number 10. So that way you make sure you're on the right question because we're skipping around a little bit. So circle question 10. And I want you to go ahead and use your pointer finger to follow along as I read this one out loud together. So question 10 says, what is the minimum amount of cardboard needed to construct a box of cereal that is 8 centimeters by 20 centimeters at its base and 30 centimeters tall? These word problems, you can absolutely solve them without drawing a picture, but I do want to take a moment and just kind of teach you guys really quick how to draw a 3D shape. So if we are working with a box of cereal here, and I can see it's 30 centimeters tall. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a tall looking cereal box, just like the 2D rectangular shape. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to draw another tall rectangle that's congruent or the same size as, and you can see I'm kind of overlapping them, but I'm drawing the one like kind of in front of the other. So like to the left and then down a little bit to showcase it being in front of it. And then what you do to make this 3D is I'm going to connect the upper left-hand corner with the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to connect the upper right-hand corner with the upper right-hand corner. Lower left and lower left, lower right and lower right. And it just created a 3D looking cereal box. And so for this cereal box, it says that it is 8 centimeters by 20 at its base. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call this short side right here my 8, and then the 20 centimeters be the width of it there. And then it is 30 centimeters tall. So I'm going to go ahead and for my height, I'm going to make that 30. And if we're talking about the cardboard needed to cover this area, we're talking about the surface area around that shape. So we're going to be doing the front and the back. We are going to be doing the top and the bottom. And we are going to be doing the left and the right side as well. And so what I am going to have you guys do is I want the video paused right now. I want you guys to take a moment and work on finding the front and the back, the top and the bottom, the left and the right based upon our diagram. And then once the class has had a few minutes to find that total surface area, go ahead and play the video again, and you guys can follow along to make sure that you're correct. All right, so now that you guys have had a chance to find the surface area, I'm going to go ahead and go through my front and my back here. I am seeing is 20 by 30, so I'm going to be multiplying 20 by 30. We get 600. And then because it's the front and the back, I will multiply by 2 to get 1200. And I'm going to underline the 20 and the 30 so I know I use each of those one time. I am then going to do the top and the bottom. So I'm going to highlight the bottom here in orange. And I can really easily see the bottom is 20 by 8. So I'm going to underline each of those. Multiply 20 times 8 to get 160, and that's just the bottom. So we multiply by 2 to get the top is 320. And then last but not least, we've got the left and the right side here. So I'm going to highlight that in blue. And I can see that it is 8 by 30, and that gives each of those their final underline needed. I get 240 for just this right side here. So again, I always have to multiply by 2 since I have both a left and a right side, getting 480. So for your total surface area, you should be adding those together. And I am getting 2,000 on the button. So 2,000. And we were measuring in centimeters and its area, so we will square it. So 2,000 square centimeters. So what I want you guys to do now is actually jump up to question number 9 right above it. And I want you guys to go ahead and read question 9. Take a look at the diagram. I want you to solve number 9 while the video is paused for a few minutes. And then again, once the class has had a chance to practice solving number 9 on their own, you guys can go ahead and press play and listen to me as I explain how to solve number 9. So for question number 9, we've got this shoebox here, and we want the least amount of wrapping paper needed to wrap the box. So we're not going to worry about overlap with the wrapping paper or anything. We are just going to find the exact surface area of the shape. So I'm going to start with my front and my back. You'll notice I always go in the same order so I don't forget something. And my front is 5 by 8. I multiply those to get 80. I multiply by 2 to get the front, and oh, I'm sorry, I multiplied to get 40, and then I multiplied by 2 to get 80. I was a step ahead of myself there. Next up, I'm going to do the top and the bottom. And I can see that is 8 by 14. So I am going to multiply 8 by 14, and that gives me 112. I'm going to double that to get 224. And then last but certainly not least, we have the left and the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight. I can see this right side pretty easily here. And this is one where, okay, I can see that my first dimension is 14. I can see that really easily from the picture. But then I'm like, well, I don't know what the height is. I don't know what the height is. Well, if I look over here at this 5, it's only been underlined one time. So I know I have to use it again. And then I can also see that it's the height right here. So we're going to be multiplying 14 times 5 to get us 70. We always double it and we get 140. And then for your final step for the total area, we will add these together. And I am getting 444 square inches for my final answer here.